turning into a fraud. You find everything else in transition, but yet, all of these years, all throughout archaeology, they have never found a man within transition and died off halfway, half monkey, half man, or half fish in its evolution state. We just hitting on a little bit. Bro just asked a question about, he asked about fornication. Well, he asked a little bit on the guy asked about fornication. We're talking about foolish talk. You know, you can't entertain that because there can be no idle words coming out of your mouth. And he said, his friend told him that fornication is a lifestyle. And I'm like, yeah, you all right. It is a lifestyle for many. So we have to understand it. And we're just explaining fornication is explained in the law as for unlawful carnal knowledge of what we say, you know, and we ain't no children there, so we ain't got them raised right now. But go ahead, bro.
False doctrine in man-made traditions falls upon the fornication.
No doubt. Any of that, because you're flirting with something else.
But I was just wanting to make it clear that it's more than just carnal sexual acts.
That's what right. Fornication. There's a spiritual side of it. That's what we're but the carnal side of it is what kills us. Well, all of it reduces itself to carnal. Because it's man-made. So that's carnal. Spiritual is high. The first man was carnal. That was Adam. Everything in earth is carnal. When we're talking about on another level, we're talking about Christ now under the order of Melchizedek. That's a spiritual level priesthood. And we got to be on that level, y'all. Once you drop yourself back to carnal to prove spiritual matters, you really battling against a battle you can't win. It's impossible to win that battle because you reduce yourself back to the order of Aaron and you pull Christ back off the cross. Go ahead. Well, if they don't believe in that, then there's no need to argue. You got to, if they'll even explain to you why they don't, then you can kind of start to get into a conversation. They tell you, well, look, man, I called on him when my mama was sick, he didn't deliver. I called on him when my daughter was sick, he didn't deliver. And then your next question would be, well, how did you call on him? See, you got to get into their head to see what makes them shy away from this. You know, dig into there to see, and then you tell them, well, okay, bro, I understand how you feel like that, but it wasn't the God of our fathers that didn't deliver. You was calling on somebody else or something else. But it wasn't the God of this Bible because of the way you say you called on him. You were calling a title. If you would call on the name of the Lord, you would have called for Mr. Petty. What's up, bro? Come on in. You look for Ocean? Oh, okay.
And what you just spoke on, Daniel, Paul stated in 1 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 14, but the natural man receiveth not the things of the Spirit of God, for they are foolishness unto him.
Read that again.
Where you at? Okay. All right. Break them off with something Paul said in 1 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 14.
Right.
But the natural man receiveth not the things of the Spirit of God, for they are foolishness unto him. Neither can he know them, because they are spiritually discerned. But he that is spiritual judges all things, yet he himself is judged of no man. For he hath known the mind of the Lord, that he may instruct him. But we have the mind of Christ.
See, and you have to have the mind of the Lord to speak spiritual matters, to instruct anybody. You cannot instruct anybody on the spiritual matters of Christ with a carnal mindset. It's impossible. It's impossible to call Christ a curse and then say he's a blessing at the same time. Like Farrakhan may say, yeah, Christ is a great prophet, but the Son of God, no. So in one breath he hold him up high, but in the next breath he shoot him down. In which we know the only way to the Father is through the Son. So we have to understand that everything has to go according to the book. Bro, we in some Proverbs chapter 26. And what we're trying to understand is foolish talk, no idle words to come out of your mouth concerning this. We must be on a spiritual level to discern spiritual things. You have to be on a different level of understanding what Christ is talking about, and it's beyond your carnal lifestyle. Because the Spirit has to dwell inside of you. And the only way to stay in there is if it's Spirit-filled. If it can have somewhere where it can dwell. It will not dwell in the corner. No more than you will dwell in a crack house and sleep there again in crack house. You don't understand what I'm saying? So we'll move on to what?
I'd be remiss. Paul stated in 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 1.
What did he say?
And brethren, and I, brethren, could not speak unto you as unto spiritual, but as unto carnal, even as unto babes in Christ. I fed you with milk and not with meat. For hitherto ye were not able to bear it, neither yet now are ye able. For ye are carnal.
Well, see, right, and what he's explaining too is you're trying to explain something to somebody that don't understand his word, like you were saying. They're in a carnal mindset. So you have to deal with them on a spiritual matter. You have to see what's got them stuck on carnal like this. Like I say, if they don't believe in the Bible, something caused that. You're just not born not believing in the number one book that's on planet Earth since its existence. You know, it's at the top of the chain, still number one all these years. There's something happening in his life that makes him deny that God exists. You know, well, my teacher told me he was teaching evolution. Well, your teacher told you a crock of bull.
It's like when I had you on the phone, we talked to the co-worker for a while.
Right.
And now I'm coming back to me, you know, all of a sudden Adam exploded, bam, and man came to exist.
He said Adam exploded.
Adam, the Big Bang, something exploded, now man came into existence.
Well, according to everything on planet Earth, any explosion don't create life. It destroys life, and everything becomes a weakness. I don't care what you blow up, it will not regenerate itself, grow back together, and flourish into. There's no way we just exploded and we're the beings who we are today.
It would still be happening.
It would still be happening at that level, right? We still be evolving. Hell, the Egyptians had more knowledge than we got now. They can't even figure out how they built the pyramids yet. I'm talking about you can't slip a playing card in between those squares and they can't figure it out now. So they know it was supernatural knowledge.
They say that they can't say, as far as Darwin's theory, they say they can't prove it any other way, so they're going to go in and go with that. That's what they're saying.
Right, I mean,
that's what I'm saying. They can't prove nothing. These are all man's theories.
Right, they're theories.
So they ideal.
Right.
None of it have no backing, no
right. So we don't have any other thing to believe, so we don't believe this.
See, so when you on this side of the game, this Bible says prove all things.
Prove all things.
Don't get in no conversations where you can't prove it, because then you do the script a disservice.
Exactly.
Don't get in no conversations of fights that you can't get into. That's like going to a scrap. You got a gun, ain't got no bullets in it.
Right.
You got a knife that's dull. The tip of it's bent. This is a sword. It's a two-edged sword. It cut both ways. It cut that foolishness out of you, and it comes back the other way and builds you up. What you got?
You know, one of the things you can do is like we so passionate about trying to get them to know the truth. When sometimes you have to get them to destroy what they think they know and ask them to prove what they know. When they can't prove what they know, then they can see it more clearly and truth when it's coming in.